This video is for those of you who are still trying to get your first one-arm pull-up. I've been doing one-arm pull-ups since 2017, 6 years, and I've learned that it's not all about strength. I believe at the beginning I may have been able to physically do a one-arm pull-up. However, it wasn't until I had a few technique cues that I was actually able to do a real one-arm pull-up. So in this video, I'm going to show you some things that helped me along the way. First tip, right there, get some rings, because I find they're way better than just a straight pull-up bar. If you go on my channel a couple years ago, you probably can find me doing one-arm pull-ups on a straight pull-up bar. However, in my experience, they're harder on your shoulders and elbows, and it's definitely not the greatest place for someone who is not already able to do one-arm pull-ups to be learning. So in my example ring, when you're doing a one-arm pull-up on the ring, you're going to be using a prone grip to start when you're hanging, and then as you're halfway, you start to turn into a neutral grip, and then when you bring it all the way to your collarbone, you're in a supinated grip. And being able to start in a prone hand position and end in a supine hand position is not something that you can do on a pull-up bar. Actually, it is. However, most pull-up bars have something on the other side of them, and you'll hit your head on something. So it's just easier to do on rings. So you're probably wondering, why did my body twist when I was doing a one-arm pull-up on my left arm, and it did not twist, my body did not twist when I did a one-arm pull-up on my right arm. Back to my example ring. On my right arm, starting in prone, and I turn and finish supine. So my wrist does the twisting. For some reason on my left arm, I naturally want to, instead of start prone, twist and finish supine, naturally my body wants to start prone, and instead of my wrist twisting, it's my body twisting around the ring. Now there's a couple reasons why I believe it's okay to not do the one-arm pull-up with the most perfect technique to start. My technique with my right arm is, I would say, perfect, pretty close. My left arm is not perfect. And the one-arm pull-up is very hard on your shoulder and elbow ligaments. And I believe that you should allow your body to do the one-arm pull-up in a way that feels more natural to you to avoid the risk of injury. There have been times a couple years ago when I was in my one-arm pull-up prime of 6 one-arm pull-ups on my right arm and 3 on my left arm, that I was still doing the same thing more or less with my left arm, twisting my body around the ring instead of just twisting my wrist. And it does allow you to get stronger in the one-arm pull-up in general, regardless of your technique using your wrist or your body to wrap around. And once you get stronger, you are more capable of being able to just realize that, hey, I'm using my body to twist, so this next rep I'm going to twist my wrist. While I was in my one-arm pull-up prime in 2018 or 19, I think it was, I was able to do one-arm pull-ups just like my right arm. However, I've taken the past 2 years, not off, but I've definitely been in maintenance mode, but probably less than that. So I'm back to the imperfect technique. My second tip for the one arm pull up is in regards to breaking the lock. You can't break the one arm pull up dead hang unless your scapula is in a retracted and depressed position. When you're in a dead hang, your scapula is very elevated and it's nowhere near in the position that it has to be in for you to break the lock. Pay attention in this video how my first movement is to depress and retract the scapula, all while my arm is still completely locked before I start to then break the lock at the elbow and pull up. My last tip is about one arm pull up negatives. They are the bread and butter when it comes to learning how to do the one arm pull up. And when I was in my prime and working up to the one arm pull up, I would do anywhere from between 5 to 10 sets of 10-second negatives on each arm. I usually did that at least twice a week, sometimes 3 times a week, depending on how I was feeling. Now that seems like a lot, but in my experience, the one arm pull up responds best to higher volume training, at least doing spurts of high volume training. If I only exercise the one arm pull up once a week or once every other week, it was enough to maintain, but it wasn't enough to get better. So at minimum, I would recommend to do twice a week, anywhere between 5 to 10 sets of 10-second one arm pull up negatives. I hope you found this helpful. Please leave me any comments you have, and I will talk to you next time.